The CEO Diaries, powered by Harper Ellis Hair Co.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the CEO Diaries, but it's actually the last one of this season. And so I'm really excited because I feel like this season has been really great, but we're ready to move on to bigger and better things. This season was meant for you guys to get to know me more, get to know my team more, and that's why we are doing this season finale. If you're watching on YouTube, you already see what we're doing, but if you're listening in your car, you see that I have my entire team here, minus Coach Casey because he decided to go on vacation, which is super rude. So I have all the ladies in the HQ, and basically today we're gonna ask them all the questions that you guys actually submitted on my Instagram. But more than anything, I want you guys to get to know them because I really think that I have the coolest team in the world. And not only are they really good at their jobs, but we're really funny too. So would y'all agree? Yeah? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go around. I have like a few questions that I'm gonna ask individuals, but then also some that I'm gonna ask everybody. Some I know that you guys put in were meant for me and meant for like certain individuals. So we're just gonna go back and forth. More than anything, I want you guys to just get to know us because, again, I just think that we're cool, you know? Right? Yeah? Do y'all think you're cool?
A little.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. More than anything, I kind of want to go back a little bit and kind of revisit how we built this team and how we got started. Casey's sitting here. You guys watched her episode. I'm sure it was great. But she was our first employee ever with Harper Ellis Hair Co. And yeah, she's the OG. She was packing our orders out of the attic of the salon whenever we first opened Harper Ellis Hair Co. And then we downgraded you from there to a closet. And then now they get to work in this beautiful, huge warehouse that we're just really proud of. And then after that, who was my next one? I guess it was you after this, Aubrey. So Aubrey came along. You guys, she's been on a couple episodes now, but she came along and we were just, honestly, I was praying on my knees for someone to help come in and help with marketing and help with social media marketing specifically. But since then, she's kind of turned into our entire like marketing strategist. So she basically does all of Harper Ellis Hair Co's marketing strategy. And she's just really damn good at her job, and we just really appreciate her. And then after that were you first, or were you first? Okay, it was Lena then. Lena, honestly, she came on because I knew that she was really good at her job that she was coming from. I knew how sad her boss had to be to lose her because, my gosh, she's just so great at her job. And so whenever we got the opportunity to hire her, I basically handed over customer service of Harper Ellis Hair Co. to Lena. And if you guys know, I've clearly got some major control problems, and I sort of headlined the customer service by myself for several years. And then when she came along, I was like, oh, I know that you're the perfect person for this. She's actually way better than me at customer service. So when you guys brag about our customer service all the time, it's because Lena here, you don't want me to respond to you. First of all, if I'm responding to you, I will have like probably tons of typos. They're always like, please let me edit before you send. I don't got time to put a comma and a period and probably even correct my misspelled words. So just translate if you please. But Lena here, she's going to send you a really great email that makes sense, and it's probably very kind. And so we just appreciate her because we know that's such a hard job. And then we have Autumn over here.
Hi.
Autumn came along. Her position was probably something that we interviewed the most for. She does all the copywriting within Harper Ellis Hair Co., which I could not think of a more difficult job. You have to talk in my voice, you have to talk in Harper Ellis's voice, and she just does an incredible job at that. And with the help of Aubrey, I just feel like those two are just a powerhouse team. And then our newest employee here is Hattie, and she's actually, is this day like 3 for you?
5.
This is day 5 for Hattie. Poor Hattie. First of all, like she started, and then the second day I was like, oh, by the way, we've got 9 pallets of Harper Ellis boxes showing up. We had to, in the 100,000 degree heat, move all of them inside. I'm like, normally this isn't your job, but today it's everybody's job. We've got to get these boxes into our warehouse. So that was like day 2 for her, and then just a lot of nonsense. And then day 5, I'm like, hey, why don't you be on our podcast? But she's come on, and Hattie's been doing photography for a long time, and she actually has come on to help with our digital media, and so we're really excited to have her.
I'm excited to be here.
Now that you guys know sort of the backstory, there's clearly a lot more to it, but this is how Harper Ellis runs our well-oiled machine, as I call it. So let's dive into it. I'm going to ask everybody the questions that I have, and you guys, some of you have inserted. So we are going to go down the line. Who wants to start? Not everybody at once. We're going to start with Autumn, and I want everybody to tell what's your favorite thing about working for not just Harper Ellis as a whole in the company. Tell me.
So that's a really hard question because there's so many amazing things about working here. Obviously, everyone's really cool and really funny, so that always is a plus. But honestly, it's probably the fact that you guys want us to have a really good life outside of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's mine.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good one because you're right. That is a huge plus.
I don't have a knife behind them, by the way. You better say that.
No.
Cool.
No, y'all take care of us, and we appreciate that. And I think, like she said, I mean,
Yeah. It's similar to what Casey said in her podcast episode about having us living our dream lives outside of these walls. So,
yeah. I think my favorite is the relationships I've been able to make with the stylist that I never would have met, and now I've got all these friends all across the country just because of this amazing job.
Yeah, and I love that. There was one of the stylists that wished you a happy birthday on their Instagram. I saw that and I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
We have an e-commerce business, and so, a lot of people think that we don't really come in contact with our customers, but we try to do the opposite. We try to get to know our customers because our customers are the reason why our world goes around. So, yeah. What about you, Case?
I feel like a combination of all of the above. Like I said, we talked about it on my podcast, but everybody, it's just like your family away from your family here. So that's, always enjoyable to come to work. And then, like I said, meeting so many stylists everywhere. We've made friends with people in various states whenever we've traveled and they came here. So it's just really cool things.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you?
I think for me, same. All of what they said. But for me, this job, obviously I love every single one of these women that I'm next to, best friends, they're my family, but this job is something that I never thought I could have.
Same.
And Tara, I'm not just saying this because she's sitting here, why she's amazing boss is she kind of lets you design your dream role. She lets you kind of figure out what your passions are, what you're good at, the things that you enjoy, and lets you expand that and really pours into it. And so I've basically been able to just create the job of my dreams. I could not think of anything I'd rather be doing. And so that's my favorite thing. It's every day I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I get to do the coolest job in the world with the best people in the world and the coolest industry in the world. And I love it.
Yeah,
I love
agree.
that.
Yeah.
I love that, and that's such a great detail. I mean, not just, I don't know where I adapted that, or if I'm a people pleaser at heart. I know some of you guys are like, what, you're a people pleaser? I really am. I just try to hide it. But, whenever I hire someone, I'm like, if they even say the words oh, I hate doing this, I try to listen to that. And I know that some of bosses out there, they get these egos of well, that's your job, I pay you to do it, you got to do it. And I get that not everybody's going to love every single detail of their job, but I know that there's been some things that I'm like, hey, can you help me with this? And she's like, this is my worst nightmare, actually. And I listened to that because what a terrible life would it be. And I do the same thing within my own roles. I'm like, if I hate doing it, I'm like, find somebody else that likes it, because I don't. So just a little tip out there, because I feel like that's been and I don't know where I picked it up at, but that's just been a successful thing with our business and all of my businesses. I'm like, don't stick somebody in a role they don't like. So there you go. What about you, Hattie, day 5? What do you like about it?
Well, yeah, I haven't been here for very long, but so far, I think I'm just enjoying the environment inside this office. As far as all of you guys have been so warm and welcoming to me, and y'all are treating me like you've known me for
I kind of feel
10 years.
Wow.
yeah.
It just feels so natural to be in here with you girls, and I think this what all you said I agree with, and more. It's just being able to just be creative and have fun with what you're doing, and it'll translate to the job, the work you do.
Absolutely.
So,
Funny story with Hattie. We really need an HR team, like desperately. We will never have one. So
We'd all lose our job.
I will make sure that legally I stay just under the threshold of like how many employees you have to a HR team, because we're not getting that. But before she started, was it last Wednesday or something? We like texted the group like, all right guys, keep in mind we've got a new person, like try to keep your real personalities under wraps, because we're all a little unhinged here and probably not always appropriate and professional, but hey, it makes things fun. So hope you enjoy that. By day 3, we were like, listen, if hopefully you're a little bit unhinged. She's like, I'm really not, but I enjoy listening to you guys.
I'm not.
Like, well, don't let us corrupt you. So here we are. So anyway, and what about you, Kane? You're behind the camera. You've been here for 2 years.
We've been big chilling, I think.
What do you like about us?
We've been having fun. It's been a great 2 years. We've done a lot. We've traveled.
Sure.
We've had great food. We've had great conversation.
We have had a lot of great
Yeah.
food.
So much
had
good
hella food.
Yeah. Caden's behind the camera, of course. He's been with our team for 2 years. He's been doing all our photography, videography. And funny story about Kane is we took him on his first flight ever. And where are we going? LA.
LA.
We were going to LA.
This is crazy for the
Yeah, I'm like, welcome to LA. And I will never forget, we were at the airport, and I think someone had prompted you to take off your shoes in security.
No, you know what? The night before, I watched somebody go through the TSA on YouTube. 'Cause I wanted to do it
He
right.
watched somebody go through TSA on YouTube before we left. And you know what?
I wanted to.
I
wanted to
respect
show
your
up
preparation.
and seem like I knew what I was doing, and I 100% didn't.
So at the check counter, Kane took off his shoes. We were like, buddy, next step, you'll take your shoes off. You can put those back on here, and So now, but last year we took over like. Well, I know I personally did, but probably as a team we took over 30 flights, and so we were like, welcome to the flying club, because he took over 30 flights and you realized where to take your shoes off at.
Yeah,
So
I figured out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes to have my shoes on.
yeah. So anyway, we love Kane too. And then Coach, of course, you guys know Coach Casey. He's on vacation, which is we're all bitter about it. So we'll probably just talk bad about him since he's not here. So yeah,
That's what we do anyways.
you're right. Exactly. Okay, so I'm reading off my phone. I've got the ones that you guys put in on Instagram yesterday, but someone asked advice for new stylists in the industry and where do you start? I guess I'll probably take that one. Sorry, I didn't realize that was going to be the first one. But if you're a new stylist in the industry and you're kind of, I think the number one thing is like get clear on what you actually want, because there's so many different. The one thing I love, my actually favorite thing about this industry is there's no ceiling. There's absolutely no ceiling. You can do as much as you want to. You can do as less as you want to. So figure out where you want to go. If you want to, grow and make a lot of money, I advise go find someone that does that and go shadow them and go, kind of risk that for a couple of years first before you just jump head first in and figure out what they're doing. I myself was a assistant for almost 2 years, and it was, at the time, it was the worst years of my life, but now looking back, I was like, thank God I did that, because I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So find a mentor, be an assistant, do the things you don't want to do first so that you can live the life you want to live later. So there's my advice. Okay, so someone asked, if HE did a European tour, where all would you want to go? We were just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's start down the line. Tell me what's your favorite, I guess you could say country, but where would be your best place that HE would plant a flag?
Either Italy or Greece, probably. I think Rome could be pretty cool.
I was gonna say
Santorini could also be pretty awesome as well. So
I wonder if they wear extensions in Santorini.
I don't know.
They should if they aren't.
I was gonna say Greece or Rome. I think either one of
It's
those.
like party city in Santorini,
that'd be
or
fun.
Mykonos.
That'd be fun.
I feel like Italians and Greek people have a lot of hair anyway.
Like
so,
beautiful, shiny.
Yeah.
But
already
they
have
probably need
beautiful hair.
more.
Who doesn't?
First stop for me would be London.
Yeah. Same. I'd say London too. I actually have never been there, only on a layover, but I already know. The UK is, I'm all over that.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Amsterdam.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
I'd probably say like somewhere in France, like Nice or Morocco, something like that.
Yeah,
somewhere like coastal a
definitely.
bit.
Definitely.
One of our goals on the next, I don't know, I haven't put a timeline on this one, but we are already shipping to several different countries. Not as frequently as we'd like, but we're going to be all over the place. Give us a few years. Who's the best dressed in the office? We got an award for this one time. We'll start with you.
So far, I mean, day 5. It's only been a few days, but so far I'd probably say Tara or Aubrey.
Oh.
Shocker. They're like, just wait, give it another
Yeah, that's why I was like, give me a few months and, you know, I'll have to see like what the vibe is throughout the week.
Definitely
For
Tara
outfits.
for me.
Yeah.
Definitely Tara for me.
You're always styling.
I'm just forced because I
Yeah.
have to film a lot.
Yeah.
So if I didn't ever have to be in front of the camera, you guys know I'd be looking like Adam Sandler up in the office, okay?
No, that is me.
We do call Casey Adam Sandler.
I would say, oh, that's hard. I don't know. I feel like Autumn. She's like every day. It's like consistent.
You dresses
She
a
is
lot.
consistent. Autumn's consistent.
Yeah. It's like some of us, we're like dressed up or we look homeless. There's no,
Yeah.
So. But Autumn's like consistently
always looks
across. She's never come in and I'm like, man, girl, you should crawl out of bed. She's always looking good. So good
Thank you.
job. What about you?
I would say Autumn definitely puts the most effort in the dressing up.
Yeah.
I wish I could say the same for myself, but I had a Bass Pro Shop hat on yesterday.
That's a vibe.
Yeah.
And Tara, she's looking pretty bouge most of the time when she walks in. So.
Even in your sporty.
I
you look
know.
cute.
She's sporty
That's true.
too.
See, and I always feel like I don't, but it don't matter. I'd rather be homeless every day, for honest.
I like Casey's style. I think you always look cute, even when you're in like a
I mean, you had
graphic
it.
tee. You always have cute tennis shoes on that go with it. Like,
Casey's
I like
shoe
the vibe.
game is really good.
yeah, it is.
That's right.
Yeah, it is.
You got cool sneaks.
Yeah, you do.
Out of control.
Even her like athletic wear is colorful. She's like the only colorful person here.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody's
Hence
like,
the white that she's
everybody's going to a funeral. We got the angel over here in the midst of all the demons.
Yeah.
I definitely say you, Tara. Whether it's your like sporty style, your street style, or your like class fits, you're always on point.
Oh,
So
thanks. I appreciate that. I just feel like I've not quite figured out my style yet, but I'm getting there. Let's see. Tell everybody what your first job ever was.
So my first job ever was working at my family's canvas print shop. Actually worked there for 5 years before I moved over to my next job. So my first job interview ever was with Harper Ellis, and I was so nervous.
I thought you were saying our first job, like assignment here.
Oh. Why don't you go ahead and tell us that, though? She thought I was asking, like, the first job ever within our company. So
Yeah.
go ahead and tell everybody what your first assignment. You walked in the door, I think, day 2, and I was like,
Day
oh, by the
2.
way, Lena, I don't have time for this. I need you to do it.
Yeah, we were planning to go to Vegas for the International Beauty Show, and I was in charge
Of everything.
everything. Getting that together, getting our booth built, classes scheduled, all the things. It was my worst nightmare.
Like we'd never done it before. She had no one to guide
No,
her.
I had nothing to go off of.
I basically was like, let me see what you're made of, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And Coach, as we were walking into the airport, said, "Well, Lena, this is the time to see if you still have a job or not."
I mean, like,
no pressure.
You guys, mind you, like, just the show alone was probably like a $60,000 production just within like our setup and like getting our products there and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So it wasn't no joke.
But my actual first job ever in life was like at a snow cone shack or something like that when
That's
I was
cool.
15. I don't know. So.
Mine was at Steffi's Pizza.
Mm.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
That is some good pizza.
Yeah.
My first job ever, I was a cashier at a golf course, and I made good tips flirting with those old men. So
brand
gotta
for
do
you.
what you gotta do.
Love that. I guess technically my first job was I was a tutor for these little kids who couldn't speak English.
Oh yeah.
But like, My real job, I don't know, that didn't feel real.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
tell them where you were doing that.
So I lived in China for like 3 years, from ages 13 to 16.
That's the craziest thing.
And there was this family, and the mom was Chinese and the dad was Irish, and they owned this Irish pub in China. And I would go to their house a couple times a week and just like teach their little 5-year-old girls English. Like I would print off little worksheets and stuff. Like I was 16. And I'd be like, well, this is what we're doing today.
This is how you say shit.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done if that
Oh
was
my god. That was my first job. But then I came to America. My first like real job was at the Alma Aquatic Park, and I was a snack shack girl.
Wow.
I made like snow cones and cheese fries.
Go.
What about you, Hattie?
I did babysitting first, but then like a real job was cashier at CV's,
Yeah.
the grocery store.
That's cute.
It wasn't.
Someone asked, what's your advice? What's your best advice for a cosmetology student and how I can build my brand starting fresh out of school? So I'm gonna let you answer this.
Wait, so one more time.
So a cosmetology student fresh out of school or getting out of school, what can they do first things to build their brand?
Oh, yeah. Start just posting. Like, don't overthink it. Be intentional about the content that you're putting out. Don't just post to post, but be consistent with it. And I think do some inner work and look ahead at what you want and create almost like a roadmap in your brand to get there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like post for who you are now, but post for who you are not yet.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my.
And I feel like if I was not asked to add to that, but I'm asking to add to that now. I feel like, don't forget, something we always talk about, your brand is you.
Yes.
And so, as much as the fonts and the colors and all the things are really important, show up on social media. This is me preaching to myself because this is what she said to me yesterday.
Ding.
So go like this. Hello, guys.
Yeah, you are your brand.
Yes.
Great.
I love this question because this is such a great topic in the industry. We actually should make some content surrounding this, but do you think keratin bond extensions are making a comeback in the hair industry? I would like, you guys that are in the warehouse, you see like how often they're going out the door here. So you guys tell us first what you think you can start with you.
I feel like we have definitely picked up on our bond sales for sure. I mean, obviously it's not near what we do in the elites and hand tides, but I mean, it is definitely, since I've been here, a little over a year, it's definitely growing, I think.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that it's definitely picked up. Like she said, it's nowhere near hand tied, elite type.
But you're seeing it more and more.
Yeah, it's definitely more and more orders that have them on there, especially with people, I think, doing the hybrid methods and stuff too.
Yeah. I don't think they ever went out, first of all. I mean, I do think that we got in this craze of the weft extensions, whether it's the elites or just machine wefts or the hand-tied wefts. But, keratin bonds have always been what they call the celebrity choice extensions because of very different reasons from, hand-tied or weft extensions. Hand-tied or weft extensions need to be moved up every 6 weeks. They have to be maintained. Keratin bonds, you can sort of install them with the right maintenance. They don't have to be touched again for 6 months. And so people that, like celebrities that may live in different countries or not see their stylist every 6 to 8 weeks, that is a great choice for them. So I don't feel like they ever phased out. I feel like we just got this craze that sort of overshadowed them with the weft extensions. But, me personally as a stylist behind the chair, would I ever do a full head of keratin bond install? No, probably not. Because we have such a great method with the Harper Ellis concealed bead method, and that can sort of do the meat of your installs per se. I know, lack of better words, but like she said, we love the hybrid methods, meaning mixing those keratin bonds in with the weft extensions so that you can kind of fill in those pieces that wefts can't go. So there's my spill on that. So I think if you aren't certified or haven't taken the Harper Ellis keratin bond class, you need to. It's really just a how-to. It's not a certification because we didn't make up the method of installing keratin bonds, but really show you and break down, how to install them and how to really master those, hybrid methods. So definitely a tool every hairdresser needs under their belt. This is really funny because I feel like this has to do with the conversation you and I had yesterday. But I want to kind of go down, and I know, Hattie, this might be a harder answer for you, but that's okay. What is your favorite thing about Harper Ellis clients, meaning the stylists that do business with Harper Ellis Hair Co? What's your favorite thing? Because it's almost like it's a very specific group of people, and we love these people so much, of course, but there's something special about them. What's your favorite thing about them?
So I feel like they kind of mirror kind of the culture we have here, where we always like are hyping each other up. Mm-hmm. So I have stylists that I follow and they follow me on Instagram, and like one of them is Jasmine. She was at our September class. Anytime I post a story, like she always tells me, your hair looks good, or like you're doing great at this. So like any of them that I've ever interacted with, they're always so positive and they always are hyping each other up.
Yeah, definitely.
That's actually what I was going to say, because I feel like we've built like a family, and I know we say that a lot and it sounds cliche or whatever, but we really are. And so, we've all got those that follow us back, and they hype us up, they tell us happy birthday and things like that, and which I get to communicate with them through email mostly if they're reaching out for customer support, which I love my job. But we're family, and that's probably my favorite part. Watching them grow too as stylists, like seeing them come and get certified and then come to master class and then implement what we teach them and how it changes their business. I mean, one girl in our hangout group said she had like a crazy like $8,000 week just because she bought a bulk order. Yeah. And so to see them reach certain goals and stuff like that is always fun too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with like the family type thing. I feel like the ones that have come in, it's like we become friends with them. Like they want to be friends with us, we want to be friends with them. And then also the different classes and stuff. I just love to see what everybody wears when they get in. They like have the cutest outfits and style. I feel like and it kind of changes each class or what area that we're in, but they always have pretty cool styles. So
yeah, definitely. My favorite thing, because I've been thinking about this for days, my favorite thing about, I feel like the people that come to Harper Ellis are like tired of the fluff. And so you guys know especially, but those are like my kind of people. Tara don't have time for bullshit, and so I love those type of stylists. Like they come to us to make more money or learn how to make more money. I think that coach says this well. He's like, there's something that's different about Harper Ellis is we just don't have to stick up our butt like we see a lot within the industry. I'm not trying to call anyone out, but it's just the fact of the matter. But I feel like the people that come here they mirror that personality. Like they're just here to learn, and they're just here to sort of learn from each other and grow, and that's kind of all we're about. So yeah.
My answer is similar to yours. I feel like Harper Ellis stylists are hungry. Like anything that we have to give them, they're like, yes, like let's hear it, let's talk about it. They are not complacent, which I love because it keeps us motivated. I feel like there's this like push and pull with our stylists of like we're always wanting to give them more, and they're always wanting to hear what we have to say. Yeah. And sometimes it'll even be like after a class, or we'll get a message and it's like, okay, so what's next? I'm ready for the next thing. Like, what can we do? And we're like, damn, like you're keeping us on our toes, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely. So far, what's your favorite thing?
I haven't met any of them. Yeah. I haven't interacted with them.
Day 5, she has not been able to experience a class yet. So we'll get that answer from you later. How about that?
We'll circle back.
What about you, Kane? You've met thousands of people that do business with Harper Ellis. So what's your favorite thing about, I love to hear this from an outside perspective for me.
I love how ready everybody is to immediately get to work.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like everybody comes, everybody is listening, everybody is paying attention. I think that's the biggest part is like the first couple of classes I went to, like you would probably see one person on their phone like during the whole class, and then just everybody is so focused and ready to pay attention and learn, and then it seems like, because most times like they'll follow me on social media, and then like I'll get to see kind of what they have going on too, and it seems like they're just already getting started as soon as they go back home as stylists. Like they're doing all the things that you taught them, and they're just even like little things like posting more. Like I noticed they post more, they post better pictures, they talk more on social media.
The growth.
So it's just they're taking it's the growth immediately is what you notice. Like they're doing everything that you told them to do basically. So
Thanks
it's
for that,
pretty cool.
Kane. Who is more OCD inside the office?
You, obviously.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? I think I keep my tendencies under wraps.
I don't know. I mean, me and Casey both have certain little tics that we're OCD about, and luckily they're, I think, the same. I hope I don't do anything that annoys you to death. But, you know, we both have our things that we're OCD about, probably because it has to do with the warehouse or packing orders or like how we need things, you know, done.
Definitely.
Like our system.
What about you, Case?
I feel like I'm pretty high up there on the OCD here, but I think you are, but it just not constantly. Here. Like it just depends on what's going on. The day.
You guys know when my to-do list is shortened, because then that's when I start walking around and being like, what is going on in here? I would say probably Casey. I feel like, you know, from day one, Casey's kept, you know, everything in stock here and just kind of kept the overall function of the salon. Or the salon, whatever this place is, the warehouse, the HQ. So I feel like probably Casey.
Yeah, I would say Casey's the most organized, and so it's like if it's out of place, she'll immediately be like fix it. But Tara will randomly, like a couple of days a month, will just like wake up and be like, everything.
Everything has to go.
And she'll walk into HQ and be like, we're cleaning this. I love you, but you do that. And like you'll walk into her office and she's like, where's this guy? Hasn't been cleaned in a month, but today is the day that it is. Yeah.
Don't look at it right now. There's some things in there.
So Casey's the most consistent, but Tara is like level 10 when it hits. Please don't fire me.
I'm so offended.
Something funny, I think my second day here, I didn't have a desk. I don't really have like an office yet. And so I was kind of just like looking for, you know, something to do, something to help out. And you made me come in here, or you didn't make me. I came in here and you said, if you could clean this room up, that would make my life 10 times better. And it really wasn't messy, but you were just like, it needs to all be like out of sight.
Yes, that's it.
So I can live my life.
So I can live my life.
You're like, I can function better if this is clean.
I stare at it a lot out this window, so I'm like, God, there's a bunch of shit in that room. I gotta get cleaned up. This is really for you. Why, as a stylist or entrepreneur, just in general, why is it good to rebrand over and over again?
Oh yeah, because people, like, we're all constantly growing. You should be constantly growing, and so your brand that you have 1 year, 2 years down the line, like that might not identify and like resonate with who you are, your style, your interests, the personality that you've like grown into. You just need to stay consistent. And like we've mentioned 1,000 times on this podcast, last podcast, it's not just like changing your colors, changing your fonts. Like in all reality, that is the smallest part of your brand. Your brand is just the consistency of who you are. And so I think constantly just kind of like checking in and making sure you are being true to yourself. If you're doing that, you won't even have to like quote unquote rebrand all the time, because it'll just be like an evolution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it'll feel like natural. Like it won't be like your Instagram your followers are going to be like, oh wow, like I blinked and now Tara has an entirely new persona. It's more like, oh my God, look at this throwback from 2 years ago. I didn't even realize the change that she's had.
Yeah.
Like it's like that growth, that consistent.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, again, kind of what I said earlier, you are your brand. And so lately I've been asking myself, and you know, I understand that I have an established brand and all the things, but I'm like, why am I different? I'm expecting to talk to my customers and expecting them to go and do business with me versus someone else. So I've been asking myself, why would they? You know, what value can I add to their life or to them? Why would they come to me or to Harper Ellis versus anyone else? And so I think that kind of coincides with your brand, because your brand is you and who you are. And so I feel like more than ever, you know, Harper Ellis and myself, we're just kind of evolving because we're answering that question. We're like, you know, we're gonna give you blatantly the reason why you should do business with us versus anyone else.
Yeah, it's those like niching down questions that you can ask yourself. And I think that's also why it's important to consistently like revisit your goals, and why it's important to have really small goals within your business, but also large ones.
Yeah. Because
You can't just like wait for your big goals to be checked off. Like the growth happens in the small ones, and that translates in your brand as well.
Absolutely. I think too, you know, I think a lot of people mess up because they try to fit in. I think that I will say that if I could go back when Harper Ellis were 4 years old, 4.5, something like that, if I could, I didn't realize I was, but I was more so trying to fit in with all these other pop-up extension companies. And I wish that I would have just, from the get-go, put my blinders on and been like, no, this is who I am. And I would have stood out even more than what we do now.
Yes.
And so, you know, don't try to fit in.
Right. We were talking about that yesterday, actually. Like, I feel like the brand that Harper Ellis was built on is beautiful, and it had a reason, but it was also to appeal to everyone, and we're not for everyone. And I think we're finally established enough to admit that. Like, we're confident enough in ourselves. We don't want to be for everyone.
Right.
We're for our people.
Yeah.
And whenever you can establish your personal brand in that way, that's when you'll just like thrive, and the noise will be gone, and you'll be confident in what you're doing.
Definitely. I think that's, you know, for major lack of better words, I am who I am. It's really ballsy to like niche down. Yeah. It's like, you know, it's hard to do, and it's kind of got to come from your gut, and you kind of got to decide like, who do I want to do business with? And that is where I feel like a lot of people go wrong. Yeah. And so that really should mirror what brand you are. And so just do some soul searching. Mm-hmm. There you go. Next question is, what does each person feel like is next for Harper Ellis Hair Co? And so here's the backstory on that. They of course know, we have like lots of group conversations about what's next. You know, we're very talking about the future all the time and talking about our goals. But what do you feel like is next for Harper Ellis Hair Co?
I feel like we have so many different things that we're currently working on, and that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. We have so many more levels, like working on, we already ship to Canada and Australia, but kind of expanding overseas more, and then also just kind of really expanding on our education and leveling up our education to like really not necessarily niche down, but give like more like consistent education, like not just you come here and that's it, bye, thanks for your money, like really honing in on like that mentorship and everything that we do after you leave our class.
Yeah, for sure.
For me and Casey, we would like to ship more places, so hopefully that's gonna happen soon. And yeah, I mean, education is like, I feel like our bread and butter, because y'all are so bomb at it, and everybody loves coming to our classes because we're so fun. But yeah.
And humble.
Definitely, and humble. And yeah, more education, more in-depth education, maybe some different types of certifications or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you were saying, well, we want to anyway, is ship to more places. We ship to almost every state in the United States. I see it being all of the states, and then more
even
places.
states that I didn't know there were people in.
I mean, we ship
Montana. Is there people there?
Alaska.
Alaska.
Wow. So I foresee more volume going out, more packages, to where we might eventually have to have another person just packing packages. We'll see.
Yeah.
And maybe some new products, a new tour, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
PTSD.
Therapy. Can we get some?
How dare you say that, Casey?
I guess from the CEO standpoint, I mean, I've kind of been really getting clear on like the why. And so, you know, my goal is by 2028 that we are a $100 million business. And I do know that we will get there. And so, you know, but it's not about the dollars. So I am wanting to really just expand who gets our message and who gets the value that we have. I think the bones of Harper Ellis Hair Co. is because, you know, I did stand behind the chair for 10, 12 years and really just dig in to figure out the blood, sweat, and tears of how to make a great living and my dream life behind the chair. And so past that, then we built this team that are the marketing experts and the branding experts and the people that know how to run businesses. And so we're gonna show other people how to do what we're doing. And so that's how we're gonna be a $100 million business by 2028.
Yes.
I put it on video now, so geez.
Manifesting.
Yep.
Working 4 days a week.
Yeah. Working 4 days a week.
Hell yeah.
4 day work week.
I love that.
I feel like my answer is gonna sound so lame following that, but it's okay. I'm really like a rebrand. Like that is giving me so much life because we do have a little baby rebrand coming up.
Is it a baby though?
No, it's a big one.
It's a full-blown like adult.
I don't want to
Can't
say
wait.
that. Like that for me, I think I'm excited for that because I think we are going to like literally magnetize our dream like stylists, the ones that we already have, but like tenfold. Like we'll have all of them. They're all ours now. So I'm really excited about how that's going to not only attract more people, but also inspire us like from within. Like, oh my God, I already just like working on these little projects. My brain has just been like refreshed. So that's huge for me. This is like small compared to everything else, but like new products being sprinkled in. Like I don't know why I'm so excited about it, but all the
Sprinkled
time,
or like a damn meteor?
like a nuclear bomb. I'm so excited about it. But I'm a material girl. I love stuff. So so I'm really excited for that and how that is going to be like an entire new business for us in a way. Like that.
We need some
gives
new
me life.
employees. Let's just say that.
Are we hiring?
No. No, we're not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We don't have anywhere to put anybody.
Yeah. We're going to have a bigger office if we're doing that. Day 5. Tell us what's next.
What's next?
Tell us
honey?
what's next for Harper Ellis Hair Co.
Okay. I think I'm excited for like kind of what you were saying because I'm kind of like working alongside you in Autumn a lot, and so like for the rebrand, I think that's what's next. I think that's gonna be a big thing for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And just anyone listening, it's kind of like, what is going on down there? I do feel like there's sort of an earthquake inside this building. And every day when I walk in here, I'm like, things are just shaking and they haven't stopped yet. And I love that. And, you know, I go through seasons, you know, I call them like gap seasons. And I know that other entrepreneurs can really relate to this. It's like, where those seasons where it's your planning season, you know, and like not things aren't really active, but things are active in here. And so now I feel like what's been going on in here is actually starting to come to life. And I'm really excited about that. But with that, you know, yes, Harper Ellis has this huge rebrand that's coming. And I think that with this rebrand, we will be able to, it's not just, there's some new visual things that are going to come to life that you're going to be like, oh, that's cool. But past that there's gonna be a lot of guts behind this rebrand and a lot of like, who are we talking to, and again, just like who is our customer and who wants to do business with Harper Ellis Hair Co. So everyone's welcome. However, you know, it's gonna be sort of a heart thing, I will say. Yeah. It's from the heart. So yeah. Ooh, what is going to be next for the next season of the CEO Diaries? So
Tell us.
no. I want everybody else to tell me what you want to be next.
Like to see Kirsten back on the podcast because her story is so inspiring, but she's also so inspiring. So maybe more of like the stylists and hearing from them, Kirsten and Creighton, would be cool next season.
Cool.
I would like to maybe see some of our certified stylists. Maybe, I don't know how they would get here, but maybe
Catch a flight!
do some kind of meeting with them just to kind of hear their side of the Harper Ellis experience for them and how they've grown since they've been certified or since they've come to master class or, you know, whatever, salon owners retreat, and just maybe hear their side of it.
I love that.
It's cute.
I think that there's some things that will be going on in here within the next 6 months or so, and I would like to have a podcast, can't say anything, with some of the changes that have happened, how things are flowing and going then. So
Flowing and going.
Oh.
Man, I was actually thinking about this morning because I was like, season finale, okay, what's next? I've been thinking about it for a while, but I don't know. I think that as much as this season was about getting to know, me a little bit more, getting to know my team a little bit more, I think I want to still go with that. I think that there's still so much that hasn't been uncovered, and I think that there's a lot there, and kind of, piggybacking off what you said, there's so much coming. But I feel like this podcast is for educating and of course, for you guys to get to know us more, but we want to hopefully help you guys that are having these struggles with entrepreneurship and kind of get past that, because something I was listening to a podcast this morning myself and someone else's, and I was like, they said entrepreneurship and success is about like waking up every day and deciding to just get the shit beat out of you. And I'm like, wow, that is so true. So that's kind of why we do these. That's why we do our classes, because we understand that you guys, it's hard. Success is not easy. And so that's what it's for. I hope that on your way to work, you're listening to stuff like this and you're like, wow, I got this. This is great. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna decide to tackle this success life. So we're gonna expand on that.
I think for me, it's like two things. I love whenever you open up about like your personal struggles, like whenever you shared about your therapy. That was so important to me, because even for me, like I listened to the podcast because, editing and whatever. I'm like, that's my boss and she's still struggling with the same thing that I am. And I think that's such an important, not only as like women, but as women who, are hustling hard, that is so important to talk about not being strong all the time and having those low seasons and like what you do to get out of it. So I would love for you to talk more about that. Also, because it's like secondary free therapy. I could go to therapy every day if I could, Totally. So it's like that. And then the other thing I would love is if you interviewed some people that you looked up to, and they imparted like their knowledge on you. And I think it'd be interesting for people to see who outside of the beauty industry that you admire and you study and you learn from. So that would be my dream, whether it be next season or the season after. I think that'd be dope.
Some of those people I'm gonna have to hustle to get on this podcast.
I know.
You can do it.
My best game face on.
You can do it.
What about you?
I think maybe sprinkling in, obviously your main thing is education and the business side of things, but maybe adding in a few fun things like games on the podcast, with the people. You can have a serious moment and then end it with a fun lighthearted game.
That. That's cute.
Maybe some
podcast games.
Sprinkle in just some funny funny content as well as the serious business side of it.
I love that.
That's really cute.
Okay, so Harper Ellis in the next year will probably need at least 3 to 4 more employees. Going down the line, what 4 employees and roles do you think Harper Ellis will need? This is a great market research for myself.
Okay.
4. Well, like Casey said earlier, another person probably full-time packing orders. And then I don't know about, I guess maybe possibly a second person helping Lena with customer service, especially if we branch out into more, products and product lines. And then maybe possibly a second person for Hattie for everything that she'll be doing. And a 4th one, not sure.
You don't have to have all 4.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a 4th one.
How about you, Lena?
Yeah, we will probably need somebody else in the warehouse eventually. I don't know if I trust anyone to do customer service just quite yet.
Don't be crazy.
I'm like Tara when it comes to stuff like that. But maybe that might happen one day. Man, I really don't. I mean, Maybe a chef and
Personal chef. Imagine.
no.
Crazy over here.
I just don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll need help packing stuff if we do products, like she said.
Yep.
So.
I agree with both of you guys. Like, I feel like we're going to end up having a lot more volume that we just can't take care of all the time on our own and have time to get anything else done. And then I'm sure, like I said, an assistant for video, photography, all the things, and I would say a janitor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
Great. Anybody out there wants to
Plant that seed.
plant that seed? Oh, I actually know the 4. So number 1 will be secondary to Aubrey. We definitely will need another marketing strategist to help her sort of be able to market all these new things that we have bringing on, because there's no way. So that would be first, probably. Second, we would like an in-house financial bookkeeper. That is, this year, my goal as a CEO was to get all of my finances, personal and business, just and like fine tune it. And so we are finally there. So I need someone to come in and continue that for me. The third one will definitely be someone in the warehouse, sort of helping them kind of headline that, because I do feel like customer service is going to vamp up like 20 times. And then I just feel like, past that, there's going to be so many other products that it's too much for 2 people. And then number 4, I do feel like we will need probably someone alongside, sort of copywriting everything that we do. I just feel like that's going to be a hard one to continue to do on your own all the time, because there's going to be a lot of different voices and a lot of different things that we've got to tell the world. So, and actually I have a 5th one. I would love someone full-time to do PR it's a new one for me. I feel like there's a lot of need for very strategic PR for a business and company, and so that's going to be, so maybe there's 5, I don't know. So yeah.
How do I go after you said the right answer?
Yeah.
For me,
I'm not going.
I think obviously like warehouse, like that makes so much sense, especially if we are introducing more, because in turn customer service is going to be amped up. I think like for Autumn, like having someone to help her with copywriting, because like shifting voices is really hard. And so I think like my dream would be each brand kind of has their own like marketing director, you know what I mean? Like that would be life-changing, I think. Even though it's the wrong answer, apparently. I think Dara needs a personal assistant that she can just like hand all of her stuff to.
I agree.
Just because it's hard to keep things done. And like selfishly, I need her for content creation, and like I need her brain to do what I want it to do. And so if she could have someone that could do all of her like little admin and like flights and like personal stuff, like just she needs that. And then what did I've said 3? I think a janitor would be nice.
They're tired of taking out the trash, apparently.
I don't want to think about it.
Another.
I'm gonna be out there. I'm just gonna say some crazy stuff.
Okay.
I think a personal chef.
Okay.
I think we need a gym.
Tried that.
Personal trainer.
Fun fact.
This actually was the gym at one point.
Okay. I'm just joking.
Lasted 2 days, if you must know.
Yeah.
I did it one time.
Sauna. Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Okay, I feel like one thing about this episode is entrepreneurs will listen to this and they will sort of take some tools that we've used to build a team, and I want you guys to tell them, and don't tell them because I'm sitting here. You guys all, every single person sitting here comes in and gives me 100% every day. Like even on the bad days, even on the days that they're probably not feeling it, it's always 100%. So tell me why would you even do that? Because I myself have worked in jobs that I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. I'm not doing this today. So what makes you guys want to do that?
Well, I've kind of said this to you before, but But Tara is such a genuine person that she like inspires people to want to work hard for her because she's trying to grow and she wants to help us grow too. And so it's like that genuine quality that you bring that makes us want to give you our 100% every day.
I agree. And like you said earlier, like she wants to take care of us outside of work. And so I think in return, we want to take care of her because this is her baby and this is her, you know, this is your life. So I think that makes us, you know, give the 100%. There has not been a day that I have been like, oh, I do not want to go to work today. Like, never. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I genuinely look forward to coming to work every day, even when I'm tired or, you know, have had a bad week or whatever. You know, I still just cannot wait to come to work. And probably because y'all are like family and makes it easy. For sure. And I'm going to cry. So here we go.
And Tara's always telling me to go home, Autumn, get a life.
This is our life.
Get a life, Autumn.
I'm here.
She says it to me like every Friday.
It's Friday. Get the hell out.
Right.
I would say like a combination of things. One, like I enjoy the job, so like I want to come do a good job. I want to be here. I want to work hard. I want to see it succeed. Two, like, you know, you're not only my boss, but one of my besties. So in my mind, I don't want to come to work and disappoint my friend. Like, it's just
A lot of people don't think that way.
what it's in my head constantly. And then third, which is not the most, but you all know I'm a little competitive, so I feel like that carries over in the work. So I just have
Must be the best worker.
And you are.
I love that. I'll go after.
Okay. I think it's like everything, I've said this every answer, like everything they said, like it's true. You do such a good job like pouring back into your employees that it's like, why would I not want to give you the best whenever you always like give it right back to us? It's that mutual respect. And I think a side note to that is like everyone makes mistakes. Even whenever I'm giving 100%, if I think I'm doing my best, like I've definitely screwed up before, and you do not punish people for that. You don't make people feel bad about it. You don't make people feel ashamed. Like you don't get in trouble for messing up here, and that is it creates such a safe workspace and environment. And so I'm not scared to give 100%. I'm never like holding back on myself because I'm unsure. Even if I'm not sure, I'll be like, Tara, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but I think it might, so let's just like freaking go. And she's like, let's do it. So I think you've created that safe space to be able to give 100%.
Cool. I love that.
That was such a good answer.
Day
Y'all-
5?
Y'all gave all good answers. I would agree with everything. But I mean, so far, I would say, like you said, a safe space. Like I feel comfortable in here. Like I feel like I could, you know, give my ideas and they're not going to be like shut down behind my back, or, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like I am kind of like, it's a bit of like creative freedom here. And just like being yourself, like feeling like you can just like be yourself and like obviously do a good job. And yeah,
I love that.
I enjoy it.
I'll sort of end it with a few things that, you know, this could honestly be a whole episode on its own, but you know, some of you guys are out there that don't have that team that, you know, wants the team. Just keep in mind, you guys, as you saw at the beginning of this episode, I didn't get all these people at one time, you know, and it was like over a course of years. You know, Casey started with my first business, which was the salon, and she managed that for a while, and then, you know, it just kind of grew into, when Harper Ellis developed, it grew into what, you know, she's operations director with Harper Ellis now. And so, you know, from the get-go, Harper Ellis Hair Co couldn't afford to pay Casey. And so, you know, we were double dipping a little bit. You know, my first business was paying her paycheck when, you know, and maybe this business was paying a little bit of it or something. And so here's the thing, you're not always going to financially be able to be like, oh, boom, here's your salary or your livable salary at that. These days, that's a whole nother definition than it was even 4 years ago. And so, you know, figure it out. There are ways to figure it out, but you just have to sit down, you have to think about it, and you have to, you know, and here's the thing, as we grow, moving on, I don't add more roles and more salaries to our, you know, to our company before we do something to make more money. And so I've got some people, especially like in my other business, the salon, they're like, I want to work for Harper Ellis Hair Co. I want to be, on salary. People say that a lot, and thankfully, but, I'm like, hey, you bring me something to help produce more revenue inside the business, and then yes, absolutely, you will have a position then. And so I feel like, mutually, everybody sort of, is always thinking like, how can I make the business more money, even within my role? And sometimes that's hard, I know that, marketing is an easy one. Sometimes we see that instant gratification from marketing. It's like, I'm going to do this and we're going to bring in more sales. And so that's an easy one. But you guys, the people behind the scenes, are what's actually the meat of your company and helping you produce more revenue. I mean, we could never produce more revenue if these guys weren't on the forefront of, customer service and responding to people quickly, or getting their packages out quickly, or copywriting to make sure that, we are projecting exactly what we want to say to the world, or, creating the content and stuff like that. And so it's not going to happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day, and so this definitely wasn't. And I have failed miserably before. I've hired people. One time I had an assistant, and you remember this girl. No one else, I don't think, has experienced this, but I had an assistant once, and she interviewed so well, and I was like, this girl's going to be awesome. She was like a sort of a personal assistant. I don't know what she was supposed to be doing, but it was it was a fail big time, and I will take actually blame for that, because my maturity as a CEO at that moment was not in a place that I could guide this person to success of doing their job. It wasn't necessarily her fault. I'm sure what she's doing in life now is incredibly successful. But at that time, I was not ready to be able to give someone guidance, because I didn't even know what role she needed to have. And so, a lot of times you will fail when it comes to building a team. But I feel like those failures is what creates this. And so I could have a whole episode over failures, but kind of reverting back to what I said earlier, you don't expect to hire for a role and that to be their role. Hire for a role, that's what you think that you need, but trust the process when someone comes in and goes, I like doing this, I don't like doing this, I'm good at this, I'm not good at this, and create that environment that makes people comfortable enough to go, I am not good at that, or I am good at that, because people know what they're good and what they're not good at. So it's just sometimes scary to say. But more than anything, I appreciate you guys all. They're also stressed out about this episode. They're like, this is your first podcast, and your first podcast. These two have been on this season with me. So if you haven't watched those episodes, go back and do that. But more than anything, I just appreciate my team, because I know that I'm the face of this company. I say that all the time, but I absolutely would not be here if it wasn't for these guys. They pick up the slack. They do the work. And so, I just have this fluffy job of getting to be in front of the camera all the time. And really and truly, these guys are the backbone of Harper Ellis Hair Co. And so, if you don't think that way as an owner or as a CEO, then start thinking that way, or you'll never have a team and you'll never get past that threshold where you want to be at. So, more than anything, thank you guys. And thanks for being here. And I hope you enjoyed the entire season. I hope you got to know me and us a little bit better. And we will be back. We'll be back very soon. And message me on Instagram and tell me what you want to see next season. So thank you guys for watching and listening to this entire episode. And we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.